Okay, take 28. This is Doug Raines, your local realtor with Keller Williams Realty. I bet you were wondering where the heck I was this week. Well, today I'm going to finish the week by just showing you how the economy is going to bounce back and why the housing industry will help lead the way. So follow along, please. Okay, here we go. A book that I've been reading, Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand. There's a really good quote in there that said, people don't follow the best leaders, they follow the ones that they can understand the easiest. That's key. So with all this information that's coming to us through all of the media outlets, how do you make sense of this information or misinformation overload? Here's my goal when we're done today. We're going to start off by just talking about the three different types of economic recovery. You have a U-shaped economic recovery that is just your typical ebb and flow where the economy is going good, then it starts going down and goes back up. It doesn't stay down real long and goes back up, and it just continues that. And then there's the L-shaped recovery where the economy is going along great, and all of a sudden it just drops and then flattens out and stays there for a lengthy period of time, similar to the Great Depression and the Great Recession, back in 2008, the one we all remember the most. And then we also have the V-shaped economic recovery. This is where the economy is going along good, something happens, and it drops drastically real fast, but it then bounces back up just as quickly too. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what does our recovery look like? Well, four major financial institutions that are out there feel that we're going to have a V-shaped recovery. You've got Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley. And these guys manage just trillions and trillions of dollars. Obviously the GDP for the first 2 quarters this year skyrocketing down. No doubt about that. It's not going to come back. However, the good part about it is at the end of the third quarter, 3 of those 4 financial institutions feel that the economy is going to be where we were before all of this started. And then at the end of the year, the fourth quarter, all 4 of them agree that the economy would have bounced all the way back and then some, bouncing forward. Good news, folks. So what are the early signs of optimism? Well, I'm going to read a quote here from John Norman. He's the head of cross-asset fundamental strategy at JP Morgan. He said that the COVID-19 recession might only be 1 or 2 months old, but a few signs of the always hoped for V-shaped recovery are starting to emerge. And then if we look at, China, and if China, which we do know, is COVID's first in and first out economy, then other countries like Italy, the rest of Europe, and the US could follow from their lead May-ish, June maybe, as they repeat the sequence of lockdown, monetary and fiscal stimulus, relaxation of those lockdowns, and then gradual normalization of the activity. And really, housing is in position right now to help the economy during that rebound time. And a couple of reasons why is home appreciation. You know what? Since 2014, we've had a gradual increase of home values, the appreciation of our home values. That's been a steady increase, not like heading up to the Great Recession where the annual home price appreciation was just going at clips that just was not sustainable. I mean, we had them 9%, 10%, 11%, 13%. That's just can't happen. People were not able to afford the houses. And then also the months of inventory. Right now, we have a shortage of homes. Back in 2007, we had 8.2 months inventory of homes. So that meant if no other homes came on the market, it was going to take 8 months before all of those would sell. There was not a big demand for that much supply of homes. Today, there's right at 3 months worth of inventory. So we don't have enough of the supply for the demand that's out there. So those are 2 big factors. and the mortgage criteria and the percent of income needed to buy a home. These are both very positive. Now, right now, the ability to obtain a loan is still much better than what it was back during the Great Recession. If you look at the table on the left, the higher the number, bad. The lower the number, good. So it is still easier to get a loan now than it was back then. Now, I know there have been some recent changes to making it a little bit more difficult to get a loan, but the mortgage credit availability index is still real low. And then the percent of your income needed to buy a house. Back in 1985 to 2000, it was over 21% of your income to make a home purchase. Back in 2006, it was over 25%. And then today, you're looking at almost 15%, a little bit shy of 15% to purchase a home. And the home equity is sound. Dr. Frank Northaff, he's the chief economist for CoreLogic. He said that their home equity report found that at the start of 2020, homeowners with a mortgage had an average of $177,000 of equity. It's a good number. 53.8% of all homes in America have at least 50% equity. And 37% of all homes are owned free and clear. So good job, homeowners. Those are really good numbers. And we also have to talk about unemployment. Projections of unemployment is we're going to hit probably 15% this year. That's a big number, and my heart goes out to anybody that's been affected by that as well. The good news of that, though, is what the experts are saying on how the unemployment is going to bounce back. Next year, they're thinking it's going to be between 6 and 8%. 2022, they're saying 5%. And 2023, they're saying 4%. It's not going to be like the Great Recession. We had a lot of years, 6 of them, where we had really high unemployment rates during that time frame. And it took 9 years for us to get back to the unemployment rate when the Great Recession started. So that's a long, long time. And then if you go back and look at the Great Depression, there were unemployment rates that were almost 25%, and it took 12 years from the time the Great Depression started until unemployment rate was back to where it was pre-crisis. We just have to take the next critical steps, and we need to be optimistic about it. So if the policymakers manage to thread that needle, and I don't know the last time you threaded a needle, but that could be pretty tricky. So we just need to have confidence in those policymakers that they have the continued control of the virus, gradually reopening the markets and the economy. So the level of the GDP will start to increase, and we will get that V-shaped recovery for the months ahead. We just need to proceed with caution, folks. Slow and easy always wins the race, and we need to be intelligent about it. So that's what we need to pray for. So, folks, we will bounce back, and we will be stronger once we get through this. We just need to stay positive and be optimistic. Please, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. The number and email are below. Thanks, and you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.